Baby, there is something I want to tell you today. Something very important to my heart. It may sound strange at first, but please listen to me until the end. Because these words are not coming from fear, they are coming from love. You know, when two people fall in love, they imagine many beautiful things. They imagine holding hands forever. They imagine building a life together. They imagine laughing, growing old, and facing the world side by side. I imagine those things too. Whenever I think about the future, I see you there, walking beside me, smiling, talking about our dreams. And honestly, that thought makes my heart feel peaceful. But love also teaches us something else. Love teaches us that happiness is fragile, that relationships are delicate, and sometimes people break each other's hearts without even realizing it. I have seen many couples in this world, people who once loved each other deeply, people who promised forever, but somehow their love slowly disappeared, not because they stopped loving each other, but because small things slowly destroyed their connection. Silence, distance, neglect, words that were spoken in anger, and promises that were forgotten. Watching those stories always made me think about something. If one day we get married, if one day our lives truly become one, there is one thing I would beg you never to do. Please, never stop talking to me, because silence is the most dangerous enemy of love. If you are angry, tell me. If you are sad, tell me. If I hurt you without realizing it, please tell me. But never let your heart suffer alone. Because when two people stop sharing their feelings, distance quietly grows between them. And that distance can slowly destroy even the strongest love. Baby, if we ever marry, promise me something. Promise me that no matter how difficult life becomes, we will always talk to each other, even on the worst days, even during misunderstandings, even when emotions are messy and confusing. Because I would rather hear painful truth from you than feel the cold silence of a heart that has closed itself. You know something? The reason I ask this is simple. You are not just someone I love, you are someone I want to protect, someone whose happiness matters deeply to me. And I never want our love to become one of those sad stories people tell. I want our love to survive the storms of life, but that can only happen if we keep our hearts open. So, baby, if one day we marry, please don't ever do one thing. Don't ever build walls between. Don't ever hide your pain from me. And don't ever let silence replace the love we once shared. Because I promise you something too. No matter how difficult life becomes, I will never stop choosing you. After I said those words, you became very quiet. The air around us felt calm, but my heart was racing because sometimes when you open your heart completely, you don't know how the other person will react. You were looking at me carefully, not with anger, not with confusion, but with deep thought. For a moment you didn't speak, and honestly, that silence made me nervous. Maybe my words sounded strange. Maybe I was worrying about something that hadn't even happened yet. But then you finally smiled. A soft smile, the kind of smile that makes everything feel lighter. Why are you thinking about these things already? You asked gently. Your voice wasn't mocking, it was curious. I took a small breath. Because love is not only about today, I said. It's also about tomorrow. You looked at me quietly. So I continued speaking. I've seen too many relationships break. Your expression became more serious. People who once loved each other deeply suddenly become strangers. I looked down for a moment, not because they stopped loving each other, but because they stopped understanding each other. You nodded slowly. It felt like you understood exactly what I meant. Small problems become big walls, I continued. Silence becomes distance, and distance slowly turns love into loneliness. The night around us was quiet. The stars were shining softly above. Then you asked something unexpected. Are you afraid of losing me? Your question was simple, but it touched something deep inside my heart. I looked at you honestly. Yes, I said. Your eyes softened. Why? I smiled sadly. Because when someone becomes important to your heart, losing them becomes the scariest thing. You stepped closer. Your voice became gentle. You think I would just disappear? I shook my head quickly. No, but life changes people sometimes. I paused. Problems happen, misunderstandings happen, and sometimes people forget why they loved each other in the first place. You stayed silent for a moment, then you reached for my hand, your fingers wrapped softly around mine. That simple touch made my heart calmer. Listen to me, you said quietly. I looked into your eyes. If we ever get married, you paused. I promise you something. My heart waited. I will never let silence destroy us. Your voice sounded sincere. If I'm angry, I will tell you. If I'm sad, I will tell you. If you hurt me, I will tell you. You smiled softly, but you must promise me something too. Anything, I said immediately. You looked serious now. Don't ever stop listening to me. Your words surprised me a little. What do you mean? You took a deep breath. Sometimes people talk, but their partner stops listening. Your eyes looked honest. They become busy with life, work, stress, responsibilities, and slowly the heart of the other person starts feeling alone. Your words were true, painfully true. So I squeezed your hand gently. I promise, I said, I will always listen. You smiled again, and suddenly the heavy feeling inside my chest disappeared. Because this conversation was not about fear anymore, it was about understanding. Then you laughed softly. You know something funny? What? I asked. You're already worrying about marriage problems. I smiled shyly. Maybe, but only because I want us to last forever. Your expression changed. For a moment, you looked emotional. Forever sounds beautiful, you whispered. Then you looked up at the stars. Do you know what destroys most relationships? I shook my head. What? Pride. Your answer surprised me. Pride? I asked. Yes. You nodded slowly. People stop apologizing. They stop admitting their mistakes. They start believing they are always right. Your voice became softer, and that slowly kills love. I thought about your words carefully because they were wise. Then I said something quietly. If we ever marry, let's promise one more thing. You looked curious. What? Let's promise that our love will always be more important than our pride. Your eyes lit up. That's a beautiful promise, you said. The night felt peaceful again. We were no longer talking about fears. We were talking about protecting something precious. Then you asked one final question. Why do you care about our future so much? I smiled softly because when I imagine my life years from now, you waited for the rest of the sentence. I looked into your eyes. You're always there. Your smile slowly appeared again, and in that moment, I realized something important. Love is not only about passion, it is also about responsibility, about protecting each other's hearts, about choosing each other again and again, even during the difficult days. So, baby, if one day we truly marry, I hope we always remember this conversation, the night when two hearts promised to protect their love, and the simple request I made from my heart, baby, if we marry, please don't ever let silence take your place beside me. After that conversation, something inside our hearts felt calmer. It was strange. We had just talked about fears, about problems, about the future, but instead of feeling worried, our hearts felt closer because sometimes love grows stronger when two people are honest about their fears. The night was quiet, the stars above us were shining softly, and for a few moments we just stood there together, not speaking, just feeling the peace of being beside each other. Then you suddenly laughed a little. What? I asked with a smile. You're already planning our future like an old married couple. Your voice sounded playful. I laughed too. Maybe I am. You looked at me curiously. Why? I thought about that question carefully, then I answered honestly, because when I look at you, I don't just see today, you waited for me to continue. I see tomorrow, I see years from now. I see a life where we are still walking beside each other. Your smile slowly returned, but your eyes looked emotional. You really think that far ahead? You asked softly. Yes, I replied, because loving someone means imagining a future with them. The wind moved gently around us. Your hair moved slightly in the night air, and in that moment, you looked more beautiful than ever. You looked at the sky for a moment, then back at me. Do you know something? You said quietly. What? That request you made earlier, I remembered immediately. The request that started this entire conversation. Please don't ever stop talking to me. You smiled gently. That was the most honest thing anyone has ever asked from me. My heart felt warm hearing that. You continued speaking slowly. Most people ask for big promises, forever, perfect. Love, never changing. You shook your head softly, but you asked for something simple. You looked into my eyes. You asked for honesty. Those words meant a lot to me because honesty is what keeps love alive. You stepped closer. Then you gently placed your hand in mine. Let me tell you something too, you whispered. I waited. If we ever Mary, your voice became soft. I promise I will never run away from our problems. My heart listened carefully. If I'm angry, I will talk. If I'm hurt, I will talk.